Back in 2003, if you haunted the right IRC channels, hashtag Linux Girls, hashtag Slackware, hashtag Districat on Ethernet or Undernet, you probably remember TinkOS. It never got huge. It wasn't Mandrake or Red Hat or even Knoppix. It was just TinkOS. A one-person Slackware derivative built and maintained by someone who signed every post and every .sit with Tinkerbell77. Most people assumed Tinker was a guy, classic basement Linux hobbyist energy, but then you'd see the occasional screenshot of her desktop and a tiny webcam snapshot in the corner of an IRC client, and you'd realize Tinkerbell77 was a girl. Early 20s, maybe. Pale. Long dark hair usually pulled back in a messy ponytail. Always wearing the same oversized green sweater and those grainy 352 by 288 captures. She released builds on an erratic 3 to 5 week cycle, each tagged with what looked like a raw timestamp, build 200304222, build 200300708, build 200300917. The distro itself was oddly charming for something so clearly personal. Custom 2.4 kernel with the CK patch set, risers tuned to within an inch of its life, a hand-rolled window manager called TinkWM, black box fork with fairy wing title bar buttons and translucent menus before anyone really cared about transparency, and the fastest live CD boot most of us had ever seen on a PII with 128 megabytes. But the default wallpaper is what stuck in people's heads. Nobody ever gave her a name. Just default.png. Shoulders up portrait, shot against pure black. A young woman, presumably Tinkerbell77 herself, wearing that familiar oversized green hand-knit sweater. On her head sits a massive Amanita muscaria, the red fly agaric with white spots, tilted like a jaunty beret. A few flecks of white have drifted down onto the wool like frost. Her skin is almost luminous in the flash. Eyes open wide, pupils huge, lips parted the tiniest amount, as if she's inhaling very slowly, or as if something is holding her jaw just shy of closing. When people asked on IRC where the photo came from, she'd type, "It's me, smiley face, don't worry about it," and pivot to asking whether anyone had benchmarked her new deadline scheduler tweaks. Build 200300917 dropped on a Wednesday night. It was the last one. The homepage 404D by early 2004. SourceForge went silent after October 11th, 2003. Mirrors died quietly. But a handful of us kept the ISO around, burned to CDR, zipped on old Maxter drives, passed around on soul-sucking 56K like contraband. I found my copy again in 2012. Mounted it in a VM out of nostalgia. Same fast boot. Same ridiculous fairy wing WM buttons. Same XMS skin. Same wallpaper. Except she wasn't looking straight ahead anymore. Her head had turned, just a few degrees to camera left. Enough that her gaze slid past the lens toward something off-frame right. The mushroom cap had shifted slightly, more white flecks on the sweater. Nothing else obviously different. I checked the MD5 against my 2003 burn. Identical. I extracted default.png and opened it in GIMP. No hidden layers, no appended data, no steganography I could find. Modification time inside the squashes, September 17th, 2003, 3:14 and 22 seconds universal time coordinated. Same as every other file timestamp that night. I left the VM running overnight. Next morning the session was locked. TinkWM had crashed, normal, but X was still up, showing black, except the mouse cursor frozen dead center. And the wallpaper had updated. Her head was turned maybe 30 degrees now. The mushroom sat crooked, almost sliding off. A thin dark trickle, mushroom juice, blood, ran from one corner of her mouth. Pupils so dilated the irises were gone. She wasn't looking past the camera anymore. She was looking at the clock applet in the bottom right corner. The clock read 3 hours 14 minutes and 22 seconds. Even though the host was showing February 2012. I opened a terminal. Date. Wednesday, September 17th, 3:14 and 23 seconds Universal Time Coordinated 2003. I typed exit. Nothing. Control plus Alt plus backspace. Nothing. The wallpaper refreshed itself. No disk I/O, no new process in top. Just changed. Her head was fully sideways now, neck twisted at an unnatural angle. The mushroom had fallen completely. It rested on her shoulder like a guillotine head, white spots staining the green wool dark red. Her mouth gaped so wide the corners had torn. Inside, instead of teeth or tongue, dozens of tiny white spots arranged in perfect concentric rings, like the underside of the cap, but growing. And her eyes were locked straight through the glass. Straight at me. The clock ticked to 3 hours 14 minutes and 24 seconds. Then the VM froze solid. No input. No kill from the host. I had to yank power on the laptop. When I rebooted, the .vmdk was 0 bytes. The folder claimed the image had never existed. I swore I was done. But sometimes, late at night, CRT's humming, old box and idling on minimal desktops, I catch myself glancing at the corner clock. 3:14. And I remember the last logged message from #TinKOS, preserved in an old MIRC log someone archived in 2009. Tinkerbell 77, October 12, 2003, 3:14 and 27 seconds Universal Time Coordinated. She finally looked back.